that first spring training was really eye-opening for me. Like I showed up. I was a little immature. I had long hair. I was a little younger. I was 20, 21. And I showed up, and first thing I see is Aaron Judge in the complex. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, what? And he's the biggest human I've ever met in my life.
Is he? Because they list him at what, 6'7"?
Dude, he's huge.
I think he's bigger than 6'7".
He has to duck his head in every door. He has to. But he's one of the nicest guys I ever met. I walk into the clubhouse. That's the first person I see. I'm like, whoa. I turn around, and there's DJ LeMahieu behind me. I'm like, Jesus. DJ. And then I look over, and there's Cole. And then I see
Garrett.
I see
right?
It's all right.
No,
It's all right.
he's not here.
It's a copy and paste, probably.
All right, dude.
This is official.
This is how we do.
Did you guys get
Stop flexing. Flexing.
Did you do your push-ups before you came?
no. Did you guys
No.
get all the misinformation about the Broncos from Micah while you were here?
Quite a bit.
You hear me, Micah?
Yeah, he said some stuff.
Broncos suck, dude.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
here he comes.
Oh, crap.
Here he comes.
Shut the door, Obed. He's got a serious face on, too, dude.
It is.
You do.
It's just my face. I don't have many expressions.
They call that resting.
He looks
Not
like the
friendly
landlord.
face.
No, you can
He's
say
gonna
it.
kick us out.
Yeah, he looks like the landlord. We're about to get evicted.
Yeah. All right, are we
Better
recording?
not say anything about soccer or
Okay.
else.
Patrick Surtain is probably maybe
Want to
top
turn down those
50,
microphones just a little
Top
bit
50
more?
what?
50 cornerback in the world? Maybe.
Wait, of all time?
I've seen better ones
Of
in
all time?
I've
We
seen
didn't turn
better
the
ones
mics
in the
up.
Mexican
The
league, dude.
mics, can you turn them down a little?
Yeah.
Just a little bit more. It's better to be like a little too quiet than a little too loud.
Oh, okay.
Is that a little better?
That's
Yeah.
good,
You
man.
guys good?
Dude,
Yeah.
you sound like a pro.
Yeah, this is big.
I've
news
got a
there.
face for radio, too.
Well,
You
and
do.
he's not even wearing a hat, dude. That's what's throwing me off.
I just got a haircut.
I had to put my
man.
hat back on.
Yeah,
I
dude.
had
Yeah, you got a
haircut.
hat on,
I
dude.
would've-
This is baseball
Out of
podcast.
all the people, I would've figured
His
you
haircut
would've-
is
would've
2
worn
hours
that.
old. I'm not going to ruin that.
2
Okay,
hours
good.
old.
Yeah,
Fresh.
that's right. Yeah. Plus, if you get all your little hairs in your hat, then you got to take a shower because I know you don't take a shower.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's true.
You can't take a shower.
That is true.
Yeah. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Friends of Baseball podcast.
Sharpen the diamond.
Sharpen the
Colorado.
diamond.
Sharpen the Diamond podcast.
Colorado, baby.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And we got, well, like you guys know, we're going to have some different people in and out every week. And we're going to be talking to some local folks, some not so local folks, and some local folks that are no longer local, like homie Tayler Aguilar here, who is our special guest. He is in the New York Yankees farm organization, correct?
Yep. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So are you in single A right now?
Yep, I was.
Okay, so now you're going double A?
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. It's up in the air. This is my second spring training. I went into the first spring training. I was ready to go, but I'm excited for my second one. I think this is going to be like my due date year. You know, so I'm ready to go. I'm gonna put my head down and work. So I'm excited.
Nice, dude. So we're not very professional here.
You're good. This is awesome. This is
We tell
awesome.
jokes. We sometimes we have to cut out a bunch of them.
That's fine.
But we're gonna introduce another guy from our podcast. This is Omar Dominguez.
Yeah.
What's
And
up? What up? What up? Happy to be here.
A little known fact about Omar, Doug, and myself: we're all from the same little podunk town out in eastern Colorado.
Yep.
There's 2,000 people.
Yeah.
2,500.
1,997 now because we left.
No, it's at 2,500, I think.
Oh, my bad.
Something like that.
That's funny. That's
But-
funny.
Holyoke Dragons, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can.
What are the odds?
You know what, though?
Yeah.
With Taylor today, who's
Yeah.
not
I'm-
from the Plains.
I'm born and raised. Born and raised in Greeley, Colorado.
G-Town, baby.
Where'd you play high school at, dude?
I played at Northridge High. Or
Ah.
Northridge, Greeley, Northridge.
And who was the coach there when you were there?
Mike Houston.
Long time.
Houston was my head
Legend.
coach.
Nice.
Mike Houston.
Old head coach, yeah.
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 Well, fun fact, I went to Frontier Academy and then for my academics, and then I would go over for Northridge and play baseball there.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, a lot of kids do that.
Yeah.
They'll go pick a different school to go play at.
Mhm.
Obviously, because Frontier doesn't have baseball. So
Yeah. I played basketball there, but I miss basketball. Basketball's fun.
Ah, dude, I miss playing basketball too. I was no good at any sports, but whatever. I like to play them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably better now, but I gain a little weight,
Yeah. It's all good.
like the rest of us.
Yeah.
But anyways, dude, tell us about your experience growing up in Greeley in the baseball scene, and who are some of those influential folks that drove you to be where you are now?
So, baseball in Colorado is it's a lot smaller than Arizona or California or Texas or Georgia or any of those big places that can play baseball year round because the weather here is not that good, But it's something that is up and coming in Colorado, and I think that we're in the right steps of moving. And I think me going out of state all the time when I was younger, like I would be playing up. I played up ever since I was like 4 years old. I skipped T-ball. I went straight to soft toss. And then after that, I was 10 years old. I'd be playing with 12 and 13-year-olds. And my dad was one of the coaches. And shout out to my dad and my mom. They're probably my one and two combo. They would always take me to places and be there for me when I needed them. But it was cool. It was a little bit of struggle for me, seeing all these other kids that I would be playing with, or like in tournaments, like in California or Arizona, or like a PG tournament in Georgia, and you see them hitting, and while you're in negative 10 degrees and you can't really do anything, But that's how the cards fold. But I think I planned out how I did, and I'm excited for what's coming. But I think going to Frontier and going to Northridge and having that structure and having Mike Houston as my coach and how like strict and like how old school he was, I think that kind of helped me as well. But I went to Northridge my freshman year, and I was a little skin and bones, like 160 pounds. And I didn't know, I had no clue what I was going to do. Like I knew I wanted to pursue baseball at the highest level, but I had no clue what I was doing. Like I knew I was good. I knew what I needed to do to succeed that day, but I was like, I don't see where this is going to take me, because it's so hard in Colorado to see those expectations and to see those successes happen, But I would tell my parents all this time, like, I'd be like, hey, can we get a place in Arizona? Can we buy a condo in California? Like, can I just be out there, like, just to train or just something,
Yep.
And they're like, no, like, you just gotta stay here, and this is home, like, this is always going to be home for me, and I'm proud to call Colorado home. But I think bringing baseball here at some point, I think that'd be a big success for us. And back to high school. Sorry.
No, that's great.
why we
Keep
do
it
this.
going, dude.
But so back to high school, freshman year, 8th grade summer. I was about to go into high school. I was playing travel ball all over the world. I was playing 4 tournaments in Arizona. I was playing 3 tournaments in Las Vegas. I was going to Georgia. I was doing all these events, and I went to Northridge, and I was watching one of their practices, and they didn't recognize me. They didn't talk to me. Like, Mike Houston was like, hey, I know who you are. Like, shook my hand. And he treated me real professional. I liked that, and I was like, okay, I think this could be my home for 4 years. And I think I grew up with all those guys. Like, I grew up with Hunter Heinzelman. I grew up with Kaylor Warner. I grew up with those guys, and that's who I went to high school with. And I knew that that's where the best baseball was going to be for the next 4 years. And fast forward to senior year, I thought I had a chance at getting drafted my senior year. I think I hit well over 500, something like that, with my batting average. I had 10 plus homers and as a high school kid. I thought I was a really good kid. I had my head on right. I knew what I was doing. I had an agent at the time. I was getting looked at by different schools. So I committed to Grand Canyon University my freshman year in high school. And I went into my 8th grade summer, and that's when I started getting a lot of traction of colleges. And freshman year is when I started like growing into my body a little more, and I started getting all these phone calls. As soon as you hit your like first freshman day, you can get like phone calls, text messages from any D1, any college, anywhere. And
Interesting.
I wake up at like 7:30 and boom, 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 my phone's blowing up. I got U of A, ASU, GCU, Utah, Arkansas. I got Clemson reaching out to me. And then that summer, I went out to Lake Point, Georgia, which is like where a lot of players go to just play baseball. And that's where you get seen. That's where a lot of colleges go get their guys. And I had a phenomenal game. I think I pitched that game as well. But I'm not going to say what college came up to me. They came up to me and they were like, hey, you're really good. How old are you? What's your weight? What shoe size? Where are you from? And then they're like, we're going to offer you a full ride on the spot. Are you going to take it? And I was 15 and I was like, what do I, and I called my parents. You can ask my parents this. And I was like, hey, so-and-so just offered me. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, after my game.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I went out there by myself. My parents are working. Like, they dropped me off, go do your thing, business trip, come back. But I got home after that phone call, and they're like, dude, like, how was that? Like, what? I was like, I had to tell them no. Like, I was a 15-year-old little kid. I couldn't even know what to put my shoe on right, you know? Like, I couldn't even know how to tie my shoe.
I don't even have a guardian.
Yeah, I was
just sign papers.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal, and that's when that was like the first taste of D1 baseball I got, and I was like, wow, like this is how it's gonna be for the rest of my high school career. And then it got to a point where, so freshman summer's over, then you go into spring. So my first freshman spring's happening, and I'm winning all these awards. I'm doing really well. And I'm getting calls, and I'm getting like fed up with it. And I'm like, Dad, I just want to play baseball. Like, I'm just so over these phone calls. I'm so over these meetings. I'm over these guys coming to our house and filling us with what we need to want to hear. And it's like, just want to pick a school. And my dad's like, okay. If my parents were like, okay, if you want to pick a school, then go for it. What's your top school? And I was like, well, U of A was my dream school. And they were on the fence with me. I went on a tour with them. I went to a U of A ASU basketball rivalry game, and they took me. I sat courtside. It was so cool. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be my school, man. Like, I'm gonna be here for 3 years and get drafted. And
What year was that, Taylor?
that was 2016, 17, I think. Old.
You were still like 15
Long
years,
time.
15, 16 years old?
Yeah, I'm young.
Wow. That's a
And then I go to visit to Utah. I go visit the Utes. Then I go visit Clemson. I go visit GCU, and then I finally sit down with GCU and Andy Stankiewicz, and he's like, "Hey, look, we understand you're getting a lot of traction. You're a kid from a small place, and you play baseball. Like, that's what we want." And he's like, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't tell a lot of guys this, but as soon as you get on campus, you're going to be one of our guys. You're going to be starting. You're going to be in the middle of our lineup. You're going to be one of our guys as soon as you get on campus. And he told me that, and I was sitting there. I was like, oh my God, I think I just found my school. And I was just sitting there, and he was just telling me all this stuff. And we're on campus, and we're watching a scrimmage, and I looked at my parents. I was like, I think GCU is going to be my spot.
And oh, by the
And-
way, we have a swimming pool in the middle of our campus.
Yeah. Well, when I was on campus, so this was my freshman year. They didn't have any of this. They didn't have a stadium. When I showed up, they had. If you look up Grand Canyon University in 2017, 16ish, they had yellow high school like stadium. Like it was. They were D2 at the time, and they were about to go D1,
Mhm.
and they were waiting out that restriction to be like in a regional and go to the College World Series. And he was telling me, he's like, you're going to be, and then I get on campus and all that stuff. Stadium's built. My sophomore, junior year, senior year in high school, everything's being built. As soon as I get on campus, I get treated like I'm one of the guys, you know. And it was pretty cool. And I wouldn't change where I went. Honestly, I think everything works out for a reason. I think Grand Canyon put me into where I need to go, and Andy Stankiewicz is probably one of the nicest and like stiff-nosed coaches I've ever played for. And
He played for the Yankees too, didn't he?
yeah, so he played for the Yankees. He was in the bigs for the Yankees for a couple years.
Yeah.
And
I've got his baseball card.
really, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Of course, Doug has
Yeah,
a
Doug.
So,
everything.
fun fact on the road trip, we were driving. He would bring his little highlight reel, and right before we would get on the road trip, he would turn it on, and we would all listen and watch it, and it would just be all Yankee highlights. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. But it was surreal. Like it was senior year happened, and had a phenomenal year. I almost won Gatorade Player of the Year. I was a couple votes off from a couple high school coaches. Go to the All-Star game in Coors Field, rake, talk to a couple scouts that day, and that's the day I get drafted. Like that, I was like, this is my day. And don't get drafted. Long drive home from Denver to Greeley that night, and I was debating whether or not to go to summer ball and play, and I wanted to go to GCU, of course, but I was like, I just need a break. Like, I sacrificed so much to get nothing, you know. But I was very fortunate and excited to go to GCU, but like for me mentally, I just needed a break, and I took a couple weeks off, and after that, I went to play for Gojos at senior summer. Played with a lot of my high school friends, and that kind of brought me back into the love of baseball. I kind of fell out of it a little bit after my senior year. After I got a sour taste in my mouth after not getting drafted. Like that was one of the best years I've ever had, leading up to what I thought was going to be, you know, Mount Everest for me. And yet again, just got kicked and got back down to reality. And I think that happened for a reason, and went into my freshman year. The freshman year is kind of crazy. So freshman year, fall, I show up. I get treated like I'm a normal dude, like in and out. I'm getting yelled at, like, "What are you doing? Why do you do this right? Do this right?" But that's baseball, you know. That's just how everything works, and I love it. I thrive in those positions. But freshman year happens, fall. I rake, and I work myself into the starting 9, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm finally in the scrimmage where I'm in the starting 9. I'm the only freshman doing this, like, and
Were you playing your primary position?
I was playing right field. Yep, so that year, so Quinn Cotton, he's from Colorado actually. He got drafted by the Reds in the 8th round. And he texted me, he's like, hey, take care of right field for me. And that's when I just got there. So
Nice.
I thought that was pretty cool. And like they didn't have anyone else. Like they brought me in freshman year just to be there for 3 years and find someone else for 3 years, you know?
Sure.
So I was like, okay, I got to earn this spot. I got to I got to show them who I am. Like, and my first meeting freshman year, everyone is looking at me. I'm not in a polo shirt. I'm not looking like I should be like the other guys. I'm like, oh my god, what did I do wrong? And one of the older guys, Cuba Best, he looks at me, he's like, why are your tattoos out? And I just had this tattoo and just a little bit there. And he's like, coach, not gonna like tattoos out. I was like, why? He's like, he's an old Yankee, bro. He goes, we wear the same black cleats, same black batting gloves. He goes, we wear sleeves in practice because he doesn't want to see our tattoos. Meeting goes on. He goes, first rule I'm going to change, you can wear your jewelry in the clubby and you can show tattoos during practice. And everyone looked at me. I was sitting there. I was like, oh.
Oh, no.
But I was like, it was cool. Like I thought that was kind of unique, and he changed the rules for me a little bit, and I kind of liked that. But he was like, during that time, after he said that, he looked right at me, and he goes, if you get more tattoos, or if you have tattoos, you better be good. And then he walked out, and I was like, oh, all right.
So he's pretty much telling you, you better perform, dude.
Yeah,
I'm doing this for you.
Yeah, exactly. But that happened. So freshman year happens, and Thanksgiving time, we usually go to California and we play like USC, or we play Fullerton, or we play like USD. We stay down for a week and we scrimmage guys. And my freshman year happens, and I'm getting a little buzz from home, and someone on my family is kind of sick, and I'm kind of thinking about that a little bit. And then my practice goes on, and my head coach grabs me. He's like, hey, what's going on with you? I was like, I'm just in my head, like, just thinking about stuff. And he's like, and I told him, I was like, hey, someone's sick in my family. Like, I'm just dealing with that. I'm kind of homesick. Like, I'm 17 years old. What do you expect me to do? He's like, I'm just making sure you're okay. And then the day goes on. I'm hitting. Finally, I get to hit. I'm like, oh, this is what I love. First, or like a couple swings in, I feel like I can't grip my bat. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I went up to him. I was like, Stank, I can't hold my bat. Like, I can't shake my hand. I'm shaking. I'm freaking out. And he's like, I think you just broke your hamate bone. And I was like, what? And he's like, shake my hand. And I couldn't shake his hand. Like, I was literally just sitting there, just holding his hand. He's like, yeah, you broke your hamate bone. He's like, go see the trainer. I was like, oh my goodness. Dang. So I was out. I was out for a minute, and I got back. Like I came home for Christmas break, so I got in a cast. Finally got surgery around right after they got back, and then Christmas time they got stitches out, and that's a scar. Right there.
Yeah, that's.
I'll show you guys.
Oh yeah.
Show the camera there.
So was that from?
Yeah, that's from hitting.
That's from hitting.
Yeah,
like
one or
two contacts.
That's just over time.
Over time, huh?
Nice little callus.
Yeah, and then I was out. I finally come back. It's miserable. I was out forever. I was the only guy that got stayed back for the Thanksgiving trip. And I went to class. I felt like a normal kid. I was like, this sucks.
Freaking class.
Oh, this sucks. And then I finally went home. Christmas. I don't know if I was supposed to tell you this, but they're like, don't swing. Whatever you do, don't swing. Go home and rest. First thing I do, I get home, I swing. And I was swinging away. I can't really grip the bat. Like, I don't have the oomph behind the ball I used to. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting really mad. And then my dad's like, dude, just like, calm down. Like, you just had surgery on your hand. I'm over it. Like, I'm over at this point. Finally go back to school. I'm dragging my feet to go back to school because I don't want to go back, and I don't want to deal with this hamate situation anymore. Finally, 2 weeks before season, that's when I was finally starting to get back into my rhythm. And then like a week goes into season, and then that's when I started rolling, and then COVID happens, and then COVID kind of shut everything down, and then I finally went home and just chilled for a long time. You know, it was kind of weird. And then sophomore year was really weird for me. Sophomore year was really weird. I got COVID. I didn't get COVID. My roommate got COVID, and I had to quarantine because he was like, my room was here, his room was right next to mine, like A,
Yep.
B. And they're like, hey, you got to quarantine. And I was like, why? I just tested negative twice. Like, why do I got to? And they're like, it's COVID operations. Fine, whatever. What do I gotta do? And they're like, you gotta stay, you gotta move out of your apartment into a new apartment across campus for 10 days, no contact with any human. You get your food dropped off at your door, You get your temperature taken by yourself. You don't go outside for 10 days. I'm literally stuck in a
That's ridiculous.
dorm room for 10 days.
That's
It was
ridiculous.
miserable. It was miserable. And
Jeez.
this was right before season. Like I'm saying, like 3 weeks before season. I'm getting calls from my head coach. He's like, "Hey, you doing push-ups? You doing something?" Like he's checking up on me, like to make sure I'm trying to stay in shape because it was kind of weird. Like, dude, it was so weird.
How big was your apartment space that you were living in?
Probably
Like, was it a dorm room or
probably around this size.
no?
Yeah,
Dude, that's a cell.
yeah,
Prison cell.
probably around this size. Yeah, it was the dorms were made in 2000, and like the lights were dimmed. Like it looked like it was old, and I was like, dude. And to make it worse, I brought my PlayStation and I brought a whole bunch of Red Bulls because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stay up all night, play video games. I put my bag down, just catch up on my video games because I've been playing baseball for so long, you know. Like if I'm gonna be locked up in 10 days, I'm gonna come out with a beard and
Let's
be
do it.
absolutely
Level 800
massive.
in Call of Duty. dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I put my bag down, right? And I hear, I was like, no, it's not my Red Bull all over my clothes, all over my PlayStation. PlayStation gone the first night. The first night. So I'm sitting there just with my phone and my computer doing homework for 10 days. It was miserable.
God level and
It
homework.
was miserable. And then my same roommate got COVID again during season. And I was like, dude, there's no way you're going to put me back in that place. So I told him my uncle moved down to Arizona and I just stayed with someone else. But that was a little bit of my sophomore year is I got a little more success because that's like the first season I saw in Division I college baseball. And I did okay. I held my own for a little bit. We faced a lot of big arms that year. We faced a lot of good guys. That was my first year going to a regional, and we won the WAC tourney that year. So I saw a lot of success. But behind that success was I wasn't getting made fun of. I was getting picked on, but I was getting the treatment as you get treated to be where you want to be and successful. You know what I mean? And my coach knew how successful I could be. And I knew that he was picking on me and he was doing these things to me and making me understand these things for a reason. And I didn't understand that at the time. And the story goes on. We're playing UNC Northern Colorado at GCU. And I hit a single, I score. I come into the dugout, I'm high-fiving everybody. They're doing a pitching change for UNC. My head coach is watching me walk down to the dugout because, like, I'm very hard on myself, like, generally, like, by myself. And I was upset because I didn't square that ball up right. Like, I was like, I could have just hammered that ball. Like, and I was upset. Like, he sees my body language. I see him just staring at me for a little bit, and I thought he looked away. I was next to the water bowl. I was far away, next to the water bowl. I fill up my water and I throw it on the wall, like just the water, just a little frustrated. And I hear him marching over to me. And I'm like, oh no, because it's a pitching change. There's no one saying anything. There's no, I'm babe, no pitching, nothing. It's dead silent in the dugout. He grabs me by my jersey. He takes me out and he just starts just giving it to me. He's like, you think you're so better than the program? You think you're better than baseball? Just spitting in my face, like, just telling me all these things, and I'm sitting there taking it, and I'm just listening to what he's saying. Everyone in the dugout's hearing what he's saying, and all I had to say to him is, "Can I go? Can I leave?" He's like, "Get out of here! Get out of here!"
Oh man!
And
Couple expletives in there.
Yeah. And I go into the dugout, walk in, everyone looking at the door. As soon as I walk in, I'm like, "Oh, it's cool, guys. I'm glad you guys heard that." Like, how it is. Like, that's what it is. And I didn't know at that point, but I was frustrated at everything. And now I understand, like, he wanted me to be a leader and be a captain and not show emotion like that. And I didn't get that at that young age, you know? And
You act like you've been there before type?
yeah,
attitude.
yes.
Yeah.
And My junior year rolls around. I go to summer ball for the Flyboys, and Flyboys was probably one of the best summers of my life. Like hands down, one of the best.
Who are the Flyboys?
I was gonna say,
So
tell us who the Flyboys are.
the great. So I finish. I thought we were gonna go a little bit farther in the regional that year. I kind of got a little hot at the end, got a little hotter during season. Then in the regional, it got a little hotter. Regional ends. We lost to Oklahoma State.
Is that in Omaha?
No, that's we went to. So the first regional, we get ticketed. So we won the WAC tourney, and then we went to the regional. So we played at Tucson. So we played U of A, Oklahoma State, and then we played, I think Washington State was there. So this was to get to the super regional, and then the super regional gets to Omaha. So we were in the top 16 kind of, like if you look in basketball, and then that was like the top like super 8 or whatever, and that's like March Madness or whatever. But
Wow.
we were 2 steps away from going to Omaha, and I get a little hot at the end. Coach starts putting me in like 2-3 hole, get a little hotter. We just couldn't figure it out, and it was frustrating. It was just sad because that was my year with a whole bunch of my boys, and I didn't have anyone else because that's the last year I grew up with everyone, and I would have been the old guy next year, you know. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the young like phenom that they care about so much. And sour taste in my mouth again after we lost. Like I was crying to my boys, like Frankie Scalzo. He's one of my homies. He's with the Cubs right now. He might be in AAA or AA this year, but he throws mid upper hundreds. He throws hard. And
Frankie, we're looking to have you on the show soon.
but he's one of my homies. But he crying to him, he's like, hey, you're gonna have a great year, like you're gonna do all these things. And I was like, bro, that just sucks. Like I don't have my homie to go chill after, or just like talk about what we did at practice, or like sympathize with him at what we did that day, you know. And I had to realize that I had to go through the younger guys to feel like that. And he told me that, he's like, hey, like I'm gonna pass the baton down to you. You're gonna be one of the old guys now. And I was like, oh, so it's one of those things, you know. It's just a different, same guy, different blanket cut type thing. So going to that summer, Greensville Flyboys, I fly out to Tennessee, and this is a little draft league kinda. And my head coach, like my manager kinda, his name's Alan, and now he's a Rocky Scout. He's one of the top Rocky Scouts for the Rockies now. So after that season that we had a phenomenal season. We didn't lose. We were on like a 20-game winning streak. Our team was disgusting. And we go into the championship game. I'm hitting, I think, if you look up our leadoff is Homer Bush Jr., which I went to school with him, and he's hitting like a 400. He's hitting 450 on summer. Our 2-hole, which is his name is Jack Kroom, and he had, if you look his stats up, he was a senior last year. He had like 15 homers, and he was our 2-hole. Me, I was hitting like 375 with like 8 homers at that point. And then we had Christian Ficca, which he had 300. He was hitting 300 with like 8 homers. Like we all had bangers that summer. Like we were all bangers. And we also had the pitcher of the year that year pitching that game. He had 116 strikeouts in summer, which is crazy. And then we had our closer, which he came in relief that game. His name's Cam. If you look him up, he got drafted by the Brewers. He was throwing 98, like 97. He was sitting right there that whole game. So we're going into this game like, oh, we can't stop. Like, we have all these draft guys. We're going to be so good. We go into the championship game. Our starter, punchy. And we're like, oh, I'm at first base. I'm not even playing outfield. And because our first baseman left because he had to go to school because his school started early, and he was like our 4-hole, like he was kind of like one of our dudes. And Skip comes up to me and he's like, hey, can you play first base? I was like, I played first base for 10 years of my life. I think I know how to play it. And then that whole day I was just picking balls at first base the whole day. And I was like 1-2 first inning. I was like, punchy from our pitcher. I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh, this game's gonna be easy. Their 3-hole comes up, homer. Another guy, homer. I was like, oh my goodness. And we come into the dugout, he threw his glove. I was like, oh no, this is not good. We come up, Homer Bush, I think, doubles. We fly out. I hit a double. I score him. I score. It's tied first inning. And then we're just going back and forth this whole game. And then it's tied, bottom 9, tied 7-7. I'm at first base. Christian Williams is hitting. We have 2 outs. Guy on third. We're down by 1. I'm the winning run. And Christian Williams hits a ball to right center. And as soon as I saw it hit the bat, I took off. I didn't care if he caught it. I didn't care where it was hit. I was like, I'm scoring on this. And there's a video. I'll show you guys the video. But I'm at first base. He hits it. I take off. Helmet flies off. I'm going around third. My head coach, my skip, is telling me, he's like, you gotta go. And my helmet's flying off. I dive into home. We win it all. Everyone's going nuts. And it was probably one of the best.
Oh man, I wish I could. Yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah,
see the video.
Is awesome.
I may have seen the video.
The video's awesome. And then so I go into that, and like I go into that's like kind of like my little Mount Everest. Like I keep going, and Alan gets Rocky's scout job. I get a little outgoing gesture by the Dodgers that year. They're like, hey, like keep doing your thing. Like they're gonna look for me in my junior year. So everything's building up. And I go back home, and I was like, hey, I hit the cycle that summer. Like I was unbelievable that summer. And go into my junior year, and Andy Stankiewicz is acting like he's like, okay, Taylor's figured it out. I'm gonna let him do him. Like first practice back, he goes, oh, cycle boy, what's up, man? And he like dabs me up. He gives me a hug. I'm like, huh, this is different. This is different how he's treating me. And that year goes on, and first game, honestly, after my junior fall, he calls me in his office, and it's Andy Stankiewicz and Greg Wallace. And Greg Wallace is one of the head coaches at GCU right now. And they're telling me, they're like, hey, I think you have got it. Like you have figured it out. You finally like put your head down and you have got it. And they're telling me like, Taylor, like you could be one of the best hitters in the nation this year. Like, you could take us to another regional. Like, you could be one of our horses that we just hop on and we just ride. I was like, I'm down. Let's just do it. Like, this is my last year. Like, I want it to be my last year. I don't want to come back for my senior year. This is my last year here, and I'm gonna ride it out as long as I can. And first, like go. So I pop off my fall. There's whack like scouts there. Like there's a lot of scouts there. They're seeing me. I'm getting the chatter, and there's this article that comes out. Tayler Aguilar. He's going to be one of the WAC Player of the Year or something like that. He's going to be an All-American, yada, yada, yada. And I look at it, and my boys are like, don't look at it. You don't need to feed into it. I was like, dude, why can't I look at this? Like, just let me look at it. And I finally looked at it, and I was like, dude, this is different. Like, I could do something this year. And then season starts. I'm a little rocky up and down. And then I finally called my dad, and I was like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, after just won a terrible game, like 0 for 4 with 4 punches. After we played, I think we played Xavier, and 0 for 4 punches Friday night against their Friday night guy. 15 scouts in front of the stand. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yeah, dude, what am I doing? And call my dad that night. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, you really want me to tell you what's going on? And he gave it to me straight. He's like, hey, like, you just need a clean slate. See ball, hit ball. And I went back to what I was good at. I switched up my stance a little bit, choked up on the bat a little more, and I started not caring. Like I was like, hey, if I get drafted, I get drafted, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and that's my fault. I'm in charge of that, and I'm gonna go out with a bang. Like people are gonna remember who Tayler Aguilar is. And after I started not like caring about what people thought or people said about me, and just started playing baseball how I started, I remember this. I was we were playing U of A at U of A, and first inning I come up homer. I was like, oh, and then I get walked. Then there's another situation where I'm up. They bring in another pitcher for me, just slider. I'm fouling him off. I was like, dude, if he throws me another slider, I'm going to hit it over that building. Boom, slider. I tie it up. And then my boy behind me hits another double to win it. And then that's when everything started clicking for me. After that game, I was like, hey, like, just don't. There was so many people there, too. Like, I was like, not even phased by them. I went into the game like, hey, this is who they want to see. This is who they're going to get, like, type deal. But
Was the slider your biggest struggle pitch?
no, I think my biggest for me was just honestly lefty sliders. Lefty sliders were a big issue. Lefties matchup is different.
Yeah.
I like righties. I mean, I've been growing on lefties since this year, but yeah. But ever since that we played U of A, I had 2 homers. Next series, I had 4 homers. Next series, I had 6.
That's not the one game where you had 4, is it?
Yeah. Oh, so that's yeah. So I was leading up to that. So U of A, I hit 2. We go to another series, I hit 2, and then we go to New Mexico. And New Mexico, I was hitting BP, and I was never felt so good in my life. And like you said, New Mexico knows who I am, and they've heard about me, so they're throwing all lefties against me. If you look up that game, they threw their starter against me, lefty. First AB slider homer, and then next AB they brought in another lefty against me. I hit another homer off him, and then they brought in another lefty. I went oppo homer off him, and then they didn't count my 4th homer, but they brought in a righty sidearm guy that had like a ball that was like here, and he was trying to get me to like ground out or to get me to do something, and I hit a ball off their batter's eye, and it came back into play.
Oh.
And they didn't count it. No,
They didn't count it.
But that night, I get a call from the dude that broke his record that day. It was a guy that played at GCU. He got drafted by the Red Sox, and he was with AAA. And he called me and said, "Hey, congrats, man! Like you're doing it. You're doing it." And that's when I was like, "Dang!" That's when I started getting recognized a lot. After that game, because I went 4 for 4 with 3 homers and a triple that game. That was probably the craziest game I played. And then it gets crazier after that. Like that was just the tip of the iceberg for me. Like after that game, I went to Utah Valley, and I came out of that series with I think like 6 homers. And
So you had 23 that season, right?
yeah, I had 23 my junior year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I had home runs, I had the RBIs. I think I had like 75 or like 78 RBIs that year, and then I didn't know if I was going to get into a regional or not. So I stay hot through the WAC tourney like I did last year, but this year I was ridiculous. I went. If you look up the stats, like if you look up the WAC tourney, I did not do anything bad. Like I think I went like 6 for 8. I think I had at least like 4 doubles and like 2 triples or at least 1 single, but it was just all hit hard. And we didn't get past the first or the second game in the WAC tourney because our pitching, we just didn't have enough arms late in the year, you know. And I'm sitting there after I had a phenomenal game again. They brought in another lefty. I almost hit a homer off the wall it would have been to get us up, and I would have scored. That would have been to get us up by 1 run. We lost that game by 1 run, and we were out of the tourney. We were done. We won the original. We won the original season. Like, we won the most games in that like category, but we didn't win the whole thing. You know, the whole enchilada. But it was just frustrating for me, and I thought my season was over. Like, I thought that was my last game, because we got to win a WAC tourney. We got to win the WAC tourney to get to a regional. Like, that's our regional ticket. And I was like, dude, we didn't win it. Like, how? We're not going. I'm done. Like, this is it. And I start realizing, I was like, dude, I had so much more in the tank, like, this year. And I was telling my dad that, and he's like, dude, don't tell me that. Like, it's so sad to hear. I was like, dude, I could have done something crazy. And we get a call, and my coach calls everyone in. And this is when the regional tickets are getting handed out. And we don't know if we're getting in. We don't know. I'm sitting there. I just woke up at like 8 in the morning. I'm pissed. I'm like, dude, I'm watching this. If we don't get in, I'm going to throw something at this TV. And I'm sitting there. Our coaches are panicking. Everyone's panicking. Like, I'm looking at my phone, seeing if there's something said about Tayler Aguilar going to regional or something. Like, I'm just trying to get this urge out of my mind. And there it is, Grand Canyon going to, where was it? Stillwater, Oklahoma State. And I was like, holy cow, we're first team. I was like, holy cow, no way. I'm calling my parents, like, hey, we're going to a regional. And they're jumping up and down. They're excited. And I was like, I get to play at least a couple more games. Like, just keep it going. Just keep doing what you're doing. And
so it was one of those, like, you're watching like the Sunday before March Madness, where like what teams get in and not, one of those.
Yeah, nice. And it was cool because my coaches had no clue. Like, I had no clue, and it was just kind of surreal. And I was just like, dude, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And we get to the regional, and I see our names get called, right? And I'm like, oh, I wonder who we're gonna play. We already got to worry about Oklahoma State, and they won the Big 12 that year. We got to worry, and then our third team in there, we got Arkansas. I was like, oh my goodness, we got Arkansas, and they always go to a College World Series every single year. And I'm sitting there like, well, we're gonna have to fight. It's gonna be a dogfight every single game. And then I see our fourth team, and it's Missouri State. And Missouri State had at least 113 homers that year, which is ridiculous in college. And we get to the regional, buzz starts going on, and I'm getting a little more buzz. And then first game happens. We're the first game on the field. We're playing Arkansas. We play Arkansas first game of the regional. And my coach is telling me, my head coach is, hey, do you care if you hit leadoff? I was like, I really don't care. If you want to go with a bang first go, let's do it. And he's
bats
like,
up.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna leave it up to you. He's like, if you see you're up first, grab your stuff. That's what he told me. I was like, all right, done deal. And we stuck with our lineup. I was like, okay, he's not panicking. He's not changing things around. He's letting us roll with our punches. And we're facing their guy, and he had over 100 punches that year. And at Arkansas, which is pretty impressive. He was a fifth year and throwing 94, 95 with this. And first inning, Jacob Wilson, first rounder, is our leadoff. I think he walks. Our second hole, Juan Collado, he got offered by the Padres, popped up. I come up. I foul a ball off my ankle. I'm taking time. I'm like, oh my goodness, because he had that, and I thought I was gonna clip it just
real quick, just so that our fans
foot.
understand.
Hit my foot.
You're saying he's throwing 90, and some of our guys are probably like, okay, 90, but you're saying
So
90
yeah,
with
he was.
this.
So he
That
was
changes everything, right?
So he was throwing 95, 94. He was throwing 95,
that?
94, and it looked like it was coming up a little bit, and it was going away from him. And it was literally consistent as it can be. And he's trying to get me to get off the plate and trying to get me to budge because I'm on the plate a little bit, and he's trying to get me to budge. Foul went off my toe, foul went off my ankle, and I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness. I look up at the board, and that was his hardest pitch all day. It was 96. I was like, okay, he's gonna come back, same pitch, same location, just turn on it, whack, first ball, whack, homer, and then that was my 21st homer of my career, and then my next AB, he started tunneling his fastball but away, and he was trying to get me to chase. And then he started working in his changeup. So he had his fastball at 94, 95, and then he had his changeup at like 86, 87. So
what kind of movement on the changeup?
it was a lot. This was his fastball. Like, that was his fastball. This was his changeup. It was just like a fading, like see me, now you don't. And I'm like, okay, just stay on the pitch. I see where his shortstop is literally behind second base. So I know that he's trying to get me to roll over. He's trying to get me to go that way. I'm like, okay, just stay on it. Change up, single, and then walk. So I had a good day that day, but we lost. And next day, we got a speech from our coach. He's like, hey, you guys been here, done that. Let's actually get out of this regional and go to a super regional, you know? And we're playing Missouri State, and Missouri State just lost to Oklahoma State by 9 to 10, and it was a really good game. I watched that game. I stayed and watched that game, but they saved their ace for us. So they didn't throw their ace against Oklahoma State because they knew that they were gonna lose to them. So they saved their ace for us. So they knew that they were going to try to beat us and try to get to later into the regional. And facing their ace, same lineup, same everything. Jacob hits a double. I'm like, okay, we're good. First AB, I go up, slider. I take him for ball, in, 2-0. I'm like, okay, he's going to go fastball away. I probably hit the farthest ball I've ever hit in my life. And it went over the whole stadium, over the whole, Stillwater, everything. It went over the batter's eye, it went over everything. You can look it up. That was probably the farthest ball I ever hit in my life.
How far do you think it was?
I have no clue.
What was the fence?
478.
It was, I have the video, but it's nuts. It just disappears.
I'm gonna try to have this video on the episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, check it out.
We have to.
It well
2-0.
to center field. Duff going
It
back
just goes
to
over
the
everything.
track, and that is gone. He doesn't.
yeah, dude, that's
That's
480, 4.
Hit well to center field. Duff going back to the track, and that is
Dude, I
gone.
saw. Yeah,
That's 480.
Yeah, he's on
Yeah,
center
fielder, they're trying to find it.
Well,
Yeah, bro.
what does the wall say?
That was
right there at the
I
wall.
think you said 407. I think.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I thought.
Over that
over that big
every
green
board.
marker.
Yeah,
dude, that's
Bro, that's a bomb.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
490.
Yeah, it was that was the farthest
Easy.
ball I ever hit in my life. And then
Yeah.
Missouri State, of course, comes back with a bang. They hit another homer, and then they tie us. I'm like, dude, what's going on? And then I come up again. Same situation. Jacob walks. I come up. I'm like, hey, I could get us up again. 2-0 again. I was like, okay, he might flip me another slider or try to get me to roll over or something because he knows I can stand his fastball. Throws me another slider. Turn on it for another homer that regional, for my 23rd homer. And I was just astounded. I was just sitting there, and after I hit that homer, I was sitting in the dugout. I was like, "Holy cow! This is surreal." I say this to a lot of people. I wasn't gonna say this on the podcast, but
say it, dude.
Yeah.
everything, that whole junior year of my 23 homers, of me getting noticed that much, of me getting drafted, like I think everything lined up in the universe, so like it was supposed to for me, you know, and it was picture perfect. Like it was nothing happened that wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
The universe conspires for your success.
Yeah,
I truly believe in that.
Yeah, and so we get popped out of the regional, of course, and all our seniors, our coach pulls us aside. It's a really sad time, and and all the seniors are saying something to all the younger guys and like trying to tell them, hey, like this is what it is. Like you guys got to carry on the tradition and try to make a regional and try to go to the College World Series, and it's all the seniors go, and my coach looks at me. And I was like, I don't know if I should say. Like in my head, I was like, I don't know if I should say anything. And I finally get up. I was like, hey, just want to say thank you guys for one hell of a ride. Like this is the craziest 3 years of my life, and I just want to say thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to believe in a little kid from really Colorado and to help you create something that was supposed to be created. And I'm glad that I was a part of it, you know, and it was cool to be noticed like that and be sent home with a goodbye, you know. And I went home. I called my agent. I was like, hey, what is this? What does the draft year look like, you know? And I thought I was gonna get I thought I was gonna go pretty high on the draft.
You really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did he.
What were you guys projecting?
I was supposed to go late first day, early second day, and so I get back home I get back to Arizona after the regional. I had to pack up all my stuff from my apartment, and I get a call from my agent, and they're like, hey, the Cubs want you to do a pre-draft workout down in Arizona at their complex, and so do the Padres. I was like, okay. I was like, dude, my body's shot. Like, I'm down in 10 pounds. I've just played 70 games in college. Like, this is the longest season I've ever played. And he's like, dude, just a couple more days. I was like, fine. I was like, Dad, can you come out here and help me pack my stuff? And then can you also, like, stay with me for a couple pre-draft workouts? He's like, hell yeah. And we go to the Cubs pre-draft workout, and I talk to the GM, I'm talking to the manager, I'm talking to the scout that brought me, and they're like, hey, Tayler, like, you're pretty high on our list. Like, you're one of our guys. And it felt like same scenario at GCU. I was like, damn, like, this could be another spot for me for another plus 4 years, you know? And I go out there, and I do in and out. I do 3 throws to third, 3 throws to home. I told them, I was like, hey, I can only go like a couple because all the other guys are doing like 5 and 6. And I was like, dude, I just got done playing. Like my arm's going to be a little shot. And I had the beautiful in and out. No one hop, perfect. And I come out, I was about to throw my third one. GM comes out, goes like this to me, cut it, you're done. And I'm like, yeah. And I did the same face. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, I walk up, I was like, well, is everything okay? He's like, you've seen enough. You're good. Go hit. Like, say less.
Sweet.
Nice. Say less. I walk over, grab my bat, and my dad's like, what happened? He said, you've seen enough. Go grab your bat. He goes, hell yeah. And go grab my bat. I'm raking. I'm hitting balls left center, homers. I'm hitting balls right out. I'm feeling great. Like, whatever he said to me, I'm just feeling great. And that night goes on. He's like, hey, like, we're going to keep on you. Stay up on your stuff. We'll talk to you later in the off season. That was right when, like we had at least 2 months before the draft. And they just wanted just to keep eyes on me, just to keep me fresh and stuff like that. I go to the Padres workout. The Padres workout was okay. Nothing like the Cubs. Cubs had it like professionally down. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, dude, I could be a Cub, bro. Like this could be it. This is it. This could be it. And first day of the draft goes by, I get no calls, nothing. My phone's not ringing. I'm panicking. I'm calling my agent. I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's like, calm down. It's okay. Calm down. I'm panicking. I'm seeing guys that go before me that have way worse stats and played in way worse leagues than me and didn't even go to a regional that are going before me. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And so whatever. First day, I was like, okay, whatever. I knew first day was kind of a big leap. I was like, okay, second day is where I get my money. This is where I'm going to go. Second day, I get a couple calls, nothing crazy. Nothing really too interested in me. And then I see someone go that wasn't supposed to go, I thought in my head. And I played him in college. And I beat his team. I'm better. He's same position as me. I'm better than him. And he goes way before me. And
Now you're hot.
I'm furious.
Yeah.
No, I'm furious. And I go into my room, I slam my door, I'm pissed. Like my parents don't know what to do. Like they're like, dude, like what is going on in this universe? Like what? Like
Interesting.
it was so unfortunate for me. And then
At this time, have the Cubs reached out to you at all?
no, nothing.
Huh.
So it's such so I say this with a grain of salt. Like the draft is so political and so like one-sided. Like it's so like did you see anyone go with a big league name that has played in the big leagues, like their pops or their grandpa, go lower than the first round?
Nope.
No. Like I just want that to be said by itself. But I'm just saying. But it's just something that needs to be broken in baseball, and it's just tough. And also they cut down how many kids get drafted too. So they cut down 20 picks down. They cut it down to it was 42 or 40 something, 40 picks every team. They cut it down to 20.
All right.
Jeez,
Before
so-
they got rid of a whole bunch of minor league
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they basically cut out 20 kids every single draft, like every single team. And it's just it showed like it's harder to get drafted after COVID. And they're hiding their money, they're putting their money away, and I feel like baseball is trying to get to where football and basketball is with their draft and like have maybe 5 rounds, which is so tough and so hard for baseball right now. But I mean, I'm very thankful and grateful that the Yankees took the spot on me and took the opportunity.
So
am
tell
I.
us- so tell us about day 3 then.
So I go to bed day 2, absolutely furious, and I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in a couple of days. And I prayed. I was like, hey, like God, if this is what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life, can you please just give me something? Like just give me a signal, give me something that I could strive for, you know? And that night, I have dreams. I have visual dreams sometimes I don't. And that night I had a dream, just 2 seconds. I woke up, I was in a pinstripe jersey, thank you. I was in a pinstripe, and I walk out, and brights got light, and I see just tons of fans, and I woke up, and I was sweating, like profusely. I was sweating, and I was like, okay, I think this is gonna be something that I can look forward to. And day 3 happens. I'm getting a lot more calls. I'm getting a lot more goes at it, and I finally get a call from the Yankees with like, hey, we're gonna take you 15th round. Are you cool with that? I was like, dude, just say my name, please. Just say my name on television. Like that's all I care about. Like just put me on a team. And yet again, they just said it for me, and 3 days go by. I'm sent out to Florida and playing for the Yankees and getting under their belt and seeing their guys. It was surreal, but I didn't really feel like a big leaguer or like a professional athlete that soon. But my first spring training is when I felt like, okay, like this is
I'm supposed to be here.
This is where the big dogs are. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. And
So when the draft was happening, were you in Greeley?
yep, I was at my house chilling. That was the most stressful 3 days of my life, honestly. Like I thought college was bad, but that was probably the worst 3 days of my life.
So from that moment, the Yankees draft you, they call to say your name on TV. Like what happens then? Like how soon were you on a plane? And did you go straight out to Florida then, or did you go to like check out Yankee Stadium or?
So I got drafted. I get a phone call the same day. They're like, "Hey, can you come out in 2 days?" I was like, "Dude, I just got drafted. Can I just like celebrate and like say goodbye to my family a little bit?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you 3 days." So 3 days go by. I get sent out to Florida, and I get put in a hotel. I start going to the complex more. I start meeting all their hitting coordinators, their guys in their complex, and I see Cashman, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. And I signed my paper. As soon as I signed my paper, the hitting guy comes up and says, "You want to go hit?" So, hell yeah, let's go hit. And I go hit that same day. They kind of threw me into the fire. Like they that's what they do. Like they want you to just go play and just go get reps. So as soon as I sign, that last like week goes by, I start playing like in complex games and start scrimmaging each other. And they throw me into the low A team for about 45, 50 games at the end of the year. And then I got a little taste. I got a little taste of pro ball, and I got a little taste of what it feels like to play at the next level.
How did that first game feel?
So good thing you asked that. So first game I'm on the road. We play at the Blue Jay Stadium, and I'm facing a AA rehab arm. And he's 90, 98, 97 plus, and his changeup's at least 90. Like he's good. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, this guy throws hard. And I see it first, he throws me, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take my first one. Shoom! First one, ha! Strike. I look up, 97. I was like, oh. I was like, all right, you gotta be on time. Same pitch, 97, foul it off. I was like, oh. And then choke up. I went, funny you asked that, first game in the Yankee uniform, I hit 2 homers.
Baby.
And hit off the same guy. And I was like walking on clouds. And then
You hit them both off the fastball?
first one was off the changeup, and then the second was off the fastball.
Oh.
There's a video on that too.
You saw the changeup coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually, funny you guys asked. I was watching that.
Was it 0-2 or?
No, it was 0-2, first
0-2, and
AB.
you were just looking.
Yeah, just
gonna
to
throw me
hit.
junk now.
Yeah, just to hit it. And then my second AB, I knew he was going to come with fastball because he throws hard, so I was just going to be on time. Funny you asked. I literally just watched those videos today. But my first swing was 99 off the bat, and then my second one was 104, 104.5.
Wow.
But I get sent home. I go to a little mini camp. So I get sent home for like 3 weeks, and then I go back out to Tampa for like a little mini camp. So it's basically just to get hands on you and just basically show you how the Yankee way, like just to show you how to act and be polite, and this is how you play baseball,
You gotta shave.
Yeah, shave every day for me.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I was out there for a month or two, and then got sent home. I was here for a month, and then got sent out for my first spring training. And that first spring training was really eye-opening for me. Like I showed up. I was a little immature. I had long hair. I was a little younger. I was 20, 21, and I showed up, and first thing I see is Aaron Judge in the complex, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, dude. What? And he's the biggest human I've ever met in my life.
Is he?
And-
Because they list him at what, 6'7"?
Dude, he's huge.
I think he's bigger than
Bro,
6'7",
he
right?
has to duck his head every door. He has to. But he's one of the nicest guys I ever met. I walk into the clubhouse. That's the first person I see. I'm like, whoa. I turn around and there's DJ LeMahieu behind me. I'm like, Jesus.
You do?
And then I look over and there's Cole, and then I see
Garrett.
I see everybody. I see who do we have that year? I saw Pereira. He got called up. I saw Anthony Volpe. Like it was
Oh, wow.
it was all like everyone was there. Like I showed up early, and all the big leaguers were there early working with reps, and I was like, all right, just put your head down and work. And 2 weeks go by. I start like recognizing I'm working with like AA guys, like players. I'm working with AAA guys now, and now I'm taking reps with big league guys in the outfield. And then finally, like on a Thursday afternoon, it says Aggie and JJ in right field, and I'm like, what? I'm doing reps with Aaron Judge in outfield today. And I'm sitting there, and he's out there waiting for me. He's like, where you at, Ags? I was like, I'm coming. I'm freaking out. I'm panicking. And he's giving me tips on how to catch fly balls. And he's like, if you turn this way, you could turn this way. Like, you're just giving me tips. And he gave me a tip. He's like, if you take a bad, like take a false step, like take a bad rep, or like take a false step and then try to correct yourself. So say like you take a bad step in the game, and then you correct it, and then you're totally fine. Like you know how to, you're already uncomfortable. Like you put yourself in that uncomfortable position so you're comfortable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I was like, damn, dude, like
That's deep.
yeah,
some
like
psychology.
he's
Vast knowledge.
Logical.
yeah. I'm like, dude, he knows what to do, and I'm feeding the ball to him. Like I'm like he's watching my rep and he throws it, he puts it in the bucket, and I was like, please don't overthrow him. Please don't overthrow him. I almost overthrow like a 6'8" dude. And he's like, hey, calm down. You're good. Like we all came from the same shoes, bro. Like we're all in the same. That calmed me down a little bit, and then I just stepped doing reps after that, and then I was doing reps with Bader. Bader's unbelievable outfielder. So it was they just, I feel like they know what they're doing with me, but it's just I'm so like go, and like I just want to see results right away that I just don't see that, you know. And I see what I've done in the past, and I see what people have done, and like what I've created, you know. But it's tough for me to see that. But I'm glad that they put me into that situation, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm ready for this next spring training for sure. Like this off season, I took a little bit time off, but I hopped right back on it. Like I think I'm ready, and I've been hitting with a lot of people. I've been hitting with David Bodie. I've been hitting with Zeke. I've been hitting with BB Sports down in Fort Collins. I've been doing that, so I've just been all over the place.
We got to get Bodie.
Bodie's from Longmont, right?
Fort
Collins.
Fort Collins, I
Fort
thought.
Collins?
Wasn't he? Or
I
no?
thought Longmont. But
Yeah, I thought he was Longmont.
But he's a really cool guy.
is he still with the Cubs?
Yep. Fun fact: he's doing a podcast today too.
Is he really?
So we're training. He's like, we gotta get done early. I was like, why? He's like, I have a podcast at 1. I was like, really?
Yeah, so do I.
I have a podcast today too. It was just cool. It was cool. But
Nice.
he's a good guy. But I mean, and then I go spring training happens, and then I start getting more comfortable with those guys, and then I get called up to play in my first big league spring training game, and I get in my car. So the big league field is about 5 minutes away from like the Yankees summer, like the complex. And so I do my day there, finish what I need to do there, drive over to the big league complex. I park my Jeep next to Aaron Judge's purple Bentley SUV, and I park next to Chapman's like army-looking G-Wagon. And I'm
So
Rollies?
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there like, shoot, what is going on? Like,
what
these
are
guys
you driving?
I was just going to ask.
I drive a little Jeep, like a little tan Jeep Rubicon. So
Okay.
it's
Nice.
it's a Colorado
Yeah,
vibe,
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing all these G-Wagons, these Ferraris, these Porsches, and I come in with my little Jeep with my Colorado license, and I'm just like, this is cool, man. Like I'm here, you know, I'm doing it. And just seeing all that stuff, like, it just gets me excited for what's to come for me, hopefully, you know?
So in that game, did you start or did you go in and replace Aaron?
So I get called up. I didn't play that game. They just wanted me to be in the atmosphere, and I totally respected that because I was so La La Land. I was like, dude, there's so many people here. Like, what's going on? Aaron Judge just hit a bomb in the right center. Like, dude, it was so surreal. Like, it was so cool to be in the dugout with those guys and hear how they talk to each other and hear Aaron Boone talk to the guys, and it's so cool. Like, just being with guys that have done professional baseball for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you have much of a relationship with Booney?
So next day, I get called up for a game again. And I didn't know if I was playing or not, so I was just like, I did the same routine as I was supposed to. And I look over, and I'm coming in the 6th inning for Judge. And I'm like, oh my God. And I go up to Judge, and he's the first locker of every other locker. And I go up to him like, hey, Jay, you good for me to come in for the 6th? He's like, yeah, you're good for that. I was like, oh my God, dude. Like,
Jeez,
so
dude.
cool, man. And then day keeps going on. I'm about to go in, and I'm grabbing water, and he puts his hands on me. He's like, hey, it's your time now. Like, go do you. Go show him. And his big old hands are on me, his big old bear paws. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, damn.
Okay.
And then I go out.
Yes.
I go out. I hit a double. And then I throw someone out at home.
Oh, wow.
I saw that
Yeah,
highlight.
baby.
Tell us about that real quick.
So the first thing I do, so Aaron Judge was supposed to hit, and he got pulled out. He's like, nah, just give Aggie my at bat, like, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna go home and shower. Like, I'm just gonna watch some TV. And I go up, grab my stuff. I'm a little frantic, and this is the first thing I'm doing. I'm hitting in a big league game first thing, and fouling off, and I'm watching the ball, and it just disappears in the sea of people. I'm like, oh my God, dude. This is the most people I've ever played in front of. And then I finally looked around a little bit. I was like, dude, this is nuts. And I hit my double. People are clapping. I scored 2 runs.
Where'd you hit the ball to?
It was right down the line, right field
line.
Right field line. And bounces out of play. I get to second. The first base coach comes up to me. He's like, hey, good job. I was like, yeah. I'm freaking out.
Thanks.
And we're down by 2, and I'm at second. And he's like, hey, if you get a chance, score. Like, why not? I was like, why not? And the guy hits his single. Third base scores. I'm hustling. My helmet flies off. I score in. The ball hits me. You can see it on the video. The ball like kind of clips me a little bit, and I feel it. And I was like, I thought it was the tag, so I dove right away, and I fully extend, and I kind of like cut up my arm on the plate. Like, I totally like tackled the plate. My face hits. I'm like, I'm safe. I'm good. And I go out to the outfield. My heart's beating. Like, my arm feels amazing, and I'm throwing with so our bullpen's right there.
Yeah.
So a bullpen catcher comes out and throws with me instead of like another position player, and I'm throwing bullets at him because he's fully catchered up, and I'm throwing curl hops. I'm throwing everything at him. He's just shaking his head at me, just catching him. I'm like, yeah.
Making it pop, huh?
Yeah, and we have 1 out, guy on third. They bring in a lefty to throw to this one hitter, and I look at my card, and it says his last name B something, likes to go to right field off of lefties. That's what it said on my card. So I put my card back in. I'm like, all right, this ball's gonna come to me most likely. I get a fly ball. I was like, oh, this thing's up there, because he's a big league guy. He's a big league guy. Hits him pretty high. And I'm like, oh, I got time. Catch it. I kind of double take because I didn't know if the guy at third was going to go. And I kind of double take it out of my glove, and I just let it go. And I fell. I totally janitor through it. And I don't remember. My hat flew off. Like, I'm I'm on the ground like watching this like
Full crow hop.
yeah, and I just see a perfect strike right to the catcher out. And
Yeah.
everyone and I've never heard people yell for me or like be that excited for me. I've never had my feet like shake under me before. Like I've never had that, and that was the coolest thing ever. Like back of my hairs were standing up. As you said, Boone came up to me, and he shakes my hand. He told me, he's like, "Get the goddamn ball down," and it was a perfect throw. And I was like, "I'm sorry, sir." I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
I'll make it more perfect
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, that's Boone. It's cool." But and then next day, I show up to spring training, and I'm getting recognized by the gate guy. I'm getting recognized by the guy that lets me in with my ID. He's like, "Great throw. Great job last night." I'm getting recognized by the police officers that check my car. And he's like, "Great job, dude. Good job." I'm getting handshakes. I'm getting high fives. And little did you know, the farm director comes up to me. I had long hair at this point, like long hair. And he's like, "Hey, great throw. Great job last night. But you know what I'm going to tell you?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "You got to go get a haircut." I was like, "All right." So next day I go get a haircut, and I come back and I was like, "Is this good?" He's like, "No, go get it again." So I got 2 haircuts in the same day, right after I threw that guy out. But it was like a humbling experience, you know. Like the uppers like, "Hey, good job, but tell Aggie to get his haircut." But I think it's pretty cool.
So that's the nickname, Aggie, huh?
Aggie, Ags or Aggie, yeah, that's what they call me.
Nice.
And then I go into spring training. After that, I get injured a little bit. I pulled my hammy. I was doing so. I have half my day at the other complex, and then a higher up guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go do base running at the big league stadium." I was like, "Ooh, I've never done this before." So I'm doing basing with DJ. I'm doing Cole's on the mound. Torres is at second. Like it's the big league as you can get. And I'm sitting there. I'm doing base stealing. Like I'm breaking down. I'm getting in pickles with them, and I break down too quick. I'm wearing molded cleats. Break down too quick. My leg slips out under me, and I kind of pull my hammy. I'm sitting there. I'm just like, "No way!" And he's like, the guy that brought me. He's like, "Did you just pull your hammy?" I was like, "I think so." So that happens, and that kind of put me out for a little bit. So I don't know what I would have done if I did that. You know, I would have probably played another couple of spring training games. You know, but come back, and then I play in another couple of spring training games. These ones are in the day. I'm playing day games now, and playing outfield, feel good. Nothing happens. I'm just playing regular days, and then I finally we have a scrimmage, and this is like our last week going into the season, and I'm facing. I think he was with. I think he got traded for us, but he was with the big leagues for him. His slider just keeps going. It was a cutter. It was like an 89 mile an hour cutter. Hit me right on my wrist bone. I didn't have like that Evo Shield hand guard at that point because it was just brand new at that point. I get hit in the wrist. I'm just holding my wrist. I'm like, "God, dude, this can't. Like, why is this happening?" And out for another couple weeks, and then season goes. So we have a thing. I don't know if every organization does this, but we have a last game that everyone plays or like everyone watches. Like everyone is watching and supporting this last scrimmage that we all have. And after this scrimmage, you know where you're going because they put up all the papers after that scrimmage of where you're going. Like you're going AAA, you're going to AA. That's when you say your goodbyes, you hug them up, dap them up. Car's already packed, you're driving that day. So after that scrimmage goes on, I see where I'm going. I thought I was going to be a little bit higher than I was, but that's life. That's what happens. Put my head down and grind a little more. Season's about to happen. We have another scrimmage. I hit a double off one of our guys off the wall, and our center fielder picks it up cleanly. And I'm watching him, and I do a double take from second base. and he bobbles it, and I thought he had a clean take on it, so I was gonna break down, and I looked at him, he bobbled it, so I kept going, and this like gave out on me. So I pulled this hammy right before his season. So I was just injury prone at that point. I was just like, dude, this is terrible.
Man.
So I didn't even play opening day, which is terrible. And I was so excited for opening day. Like there was so many fans there. So that happens. I play pretty good for half, like middle of the season. I had a stellar catch. I robbed a homer at our field. Absolutely just brought it back, catch it, and they're like, everyone's going crazy. Next day happens, I try to do the same thing. And I jumped a little higher than I usually was supposed to, and I thought I was a lot closer to the fence. Like I thought I was gonna hit fence, but I was at least like a good 4 feet away. So I jumped and I went to brace for nothing, and I missed the ball. It was a homer. I falling like this because that's how high I'm in the air. I hit my heel first on the ground, and I'm wearing metal cleats at that point, and it felt like someone just grabbed a hammer and smashed my heel. So I'm sitting there, I'm like limping off, and my manager comes up to me. She's like, I had a girl manager, Rachel Valkovich. She's with the Marlins now. She's a farm director for the Marlins now. Shout out Rachel Valkovich. But she comes up to me. She's like, "Can you go?" I was like, "Dude, I can't even walk." And go in to find out that I almost tore my Achilles on that jump, and then I was on the IL for a good like 7 weeks, and then the season ends, and then I come home. So it was a long season for me. A lot of up and downs for me, but I think I handled it pretty well. I think a lot of things happen for a reason. That's what I was thinking in my head while I was just not playing baseball. I'm grateful that I didn't tear anything. So it was just a blessing in disguise, but kind of, a slap in the face. Like, you gotta respect this game,
Mm-hmm.
So I think like baseball humbles you for sure, and I got humbled for sure last year. But I think thinking about baseball for that long, I played baseball for about 9 months that year, and I think this year is going to be topping that year. I'm probably going to be playing 10 months, probably 11 months this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I just hope that I'm ready. I hope that I took care of my body enough, and it's just like what people say, like in sports in general, like injuries happen. Like I've seen so many injuries happen this last spring. Like I've seen so many hammies getting pulled. I've seen arms getting blown out. I've seen probably like 3 or 4 like Tommy Johns, like in action, like through the ball. I'm like, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So when do you report, dude?
It's tough. I leave February 10th.
Oh, heading up.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm excited.
Far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting the itch. I'm getting excited.
In Florida, right?
Mm-hmm. Tampa, Florida. I'll be out there. I have a little Airbnb out there with a couple of my boys, and just gonna live it up. I think my goal is to be like a little like silent ninja, just to get my job done clean, quick. Like that's Tayler,
Yeah.
And like last year, I was a little loud. I had long hair. I wasn't showing my tattoos, but I was establishing who I was, and I feel like they liked that, but they didn't like that, like this is how the Yankees are. And I think this year I'm just gonna put my head down and work every day, and they're gonna be like, hey, Tayler went home, he grew up, he matured a little bit, and he knows what he needs to do to get to the next level. So I hope that's what goes through their mind when I go down there this year. But
I think that's a good segue into who is Tayler Aguilar.
Yep.
Now we're gonna ask you some questions of who you really are.
Okay. Well, that was my little spiel.
Dude, that's a great story, man.
Yeah, man,
It's
I really
We're at an
enjoyed-
hour and a half. That's good.
I
man.
really enjoyed listening to everything you said.
I think-
Heck
but
yeah.
I really
we
did.
covered a lot of it.
You actually
that's-
answered a lot of my questions,
Good.
but I still got a couple.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got all that out. I'm glad that.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's-
dude.
You know,
That's cool.
like I told you before we came on the air, the last time I saw you was in 2019 at Northridge. I'm pretty excited to find out everything that's happened to you since then. That's been 5 years almost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a long time. It's a heck of a run,
Yeah.
and it's not over.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So,
Hopefully
We're
for not
caught
that
up.
long time.
but we're caught up now.
Yeah.
Dude, and I gotta say, I'm gonna give a shout out to your parents because I've been in, if you've ever had kids in the club scene, in the baseball
Dude.
club scene, and or a coaching in that, like there is so much time and dedication to that, and
So-
I don't think kids really understand that.
No,
and you probably
still
do
don't.
now.
I still,
You
I
probably
kind of
don't.
still don't. Like,
Yeah.
can I touch on that?
Yeah,
real quick?
please
So-
go ahead.
So, I didn't really like. I thought sports for me was like soothing and relaxing. So I was about 14 years old at this point, or 13, and I finally started playing with my own age group. And my dad was like, "Hey, I've taught you everything I know. Now go do what you need to do, and I'm going to get you to where you need to go." And like I played for Team Colorado, I played for Yard Dogs, I played for Crush, and these two teams were in Parker, Colorado.
Yeah.
And my parents are taking days off just to take me to practice, or like
Yep.
getting off work early just to take me to practice. And then on top of that, when basketball season starts, I have baseball practice during the day, and then I have basketball in Denver that night. So they're
Yeah.
So I'm playing travel basketball for I played for the Warhawks, or I played for the Hawks in high school for basketball,
Okay.
and I was really good at basketball. And my parents were like, "Hey, just keep doing what you can for as long as you can,
Yeah.
And this team was like, "Hey, we want Tayler to play for us, but you guys are kind of far. We have practices every night. Like, it's kind of a dedicated thing, but I think Tayler wants to do it." I was like, I'm all in, but it was a lot on my parents. And like we still talk about it to this day. Like, I would be driving home at like 11 o'clock at night, when I was 13 years old,
On a Tuesday.
eating food in the back with
Yeah.
my light over my food with my phone, just making sure I'm eating, and then just talking to my parents like, "Hey, like, how's practice? Like,
Yeah.
or what'd you guys do? Like, you guys go on a date while I was at practice, or like you guys go to the mall and walk around?" Like,
Parker, yeah.
yeah, it's just it's so much for my parents, and I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you
Thank you
said,
for
and
that,
I'm
yeah.
glad you're thanking them, dude, because it's a lot of work, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they
It's
They
still
felt
a
it,
lot
yeah.
on them too. I bet. Like,
How'd you celebrate with them when you got drafted?
oh, we went out. We went out that night.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole family. The whole family
Nice.
went out. It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
That's awesome.
But I like you said, like my parents went to supporting me every day when I was little, paying for everything.
Yeah.
Getting me to flights, getting me to places that I was supposed to be at, or I wanted to be at. And then I go to college, and then they're like, "Where did that all go?" Like, I don't have to do any of that anymore. So
now they have extra time. I
Yeah,
don't know what to do.
yeah. And they're like, "We just go watch you. Like, we just go buy tickets and we just go watch you. You don't have to pay for anything anymore." Like, it's so nice. I'm like, that's great. I'm glad that I've taken off a lot of your plate, and you guys can just chill. Like, I'm glad that they can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is Tayler Aguilar, dude? So tell us, when you're in the clubhouse getting ready for a game, what kind of music you're listening to?
I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place a little bit. A little rap, a little EDM. I just like to feel good, like just a little bob my head. At school, we would have we'd have days like we'd have metal Mondays, or like
Sounds like Doug.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had
Who's your
Fruity-
favorite metal
Fruity
group?
Fridays. That was sick. Fruity Fridays was funny. Favorite rock?
Favorite metal group?
Oh,
Yeah.
favorite metal. Oh, I grew up on AC/DC with my dad.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say
Solid.
Nickelback.
Ooh.
That's Luis's favorite band.
He enjoys that a lot.
Yeah, dude.
I dedicate and I give a lot to my parents. Like they raised me to who I am, you know, and I wouldn't be in my shoes without them. Like they wake up every day at 4 or 5 in the morning and go to work every day and no complaints, you know, like they are grinders and they put their head down and work. And I think that's where I saw it. Like I saw that at a young age and I was like, that's how I need to be successful. And I think my family grew me and modeled me into the person I am today. Because I think, like, my dad's still teaching me lessons today. So I was at spring training last year. I just threw that kid out.
Yeah.
My whole, like, a lot of my family's there in Florida already, and we're at the Yankee shop. And I go in and I'm like, oh, I don't know why I'm here. There's a lot of people there. Like, it's full. And a little kid notices me. He pulls on my shirt. He's like, "Are you Tayler?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." You need one autograph? I was like, "Yeah." So I signed his ball real quick and I gave it to him. I took a little photo. And then an older gentleman asked me for a photo. And I was like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here." Like, I didn't want that right now. I was just with my family. Like, I just got done with my day. Like, I'm kind of tired. I just got done working out, you know. So I was like, "Dad, can I have the keys?" He gives me the keys. I go to the car. I'm sitting there I was like, why can't we just go home? Like, well, I'm just sitting here like kind of like frustrated. And he calls me and says, "Hey, can you come back in?" I was like, "Dude, I'm not going back in there. There's so many people in there. I'm not going back in there." He's like, "Dude, get in here." I walk in and there's a kid crying because he didn't get to meet me and just take a picture of me and have me sign something for him. And I walk in and immediately all that anger's gone. I'm like, "Oh, let's go." I gave him a hug. I was like, "Hey man, what's up? You want to be a big leaguer too?" Like, just chatting him up. And his dad shakes my dad's hand. He's like, "Hey, thank you. Like, thank you for doing that." And the doorman at the Yankee store grabbed me and my dad and he's like, "Hey, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, thank you for doing that." And then later that night, I was like, "Dad, thank you for teaching me still at a young age, you know, like showing me that there's more to life than what I'm doing, you know."
It's really cool.
That's a cool story, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Full
cool.
of nothing but cool stories, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
That's awesome. We could go for another
Let's go
3 hours.
Another
man,
2 hours.
Sure.
Are we good?
But yeah, no, we're good. I think we got the place for a while, so fire away,
Let's keep
guys.
going, let's keep
Yeah,
going.
Doug, I know
Yeah.
you got some questions.
So when you play for the Tarpons, do you guys play at the Yankees facility at the spring training field?
So we play at that same GMS stadium.
Okay, and that's where you have the big league
Mhm.
spring training game.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So the complex that like everyone goes to for spring training, it holds like 200 players, and then the GMS stadium, that's where the big league, like that's where the 40-man rosters go. Like they split us up, but I think that's what a lot of organizations do. But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful stadium. They're redoing it a lot this year. When I left, they were doing a lot of remodeling, so I'm kind of
Nice.
excited to see what they got in store for us this year.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What kind of food do you eat, dude?
Yep, I knew you were gonna ask. 'Cause that's Luis's favorite question.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Dude.
look at me.
I like pasta. Big pasta guy. Spaghetti and meatballs, chicken Alfredo. I've been dabbling in. I kind of like a good salad. Good salad's fire.
Yeah.
I like chicken. Chicken's good. Good burger, can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I ever had a white chocolate grill down in Denver
White chocolate
in Parker.
Nuh-uh.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Is it like a fondue place or
No,
something?
it's so good.
So
So
chocolate, baby.
So white chocolate grill is in Parker and it's next to Park Meadows Mall, and it's So it's like more. It's like wine. It's everything you can get. So I get this spicy chicken sandwich, and they have homemade ranch. And I get a little homemade fries and then house salad on the side. Oh my god!
White
Nice.
chocolate
White
grill.
chocolate.
Dude, I'm
All
tired.
right. The only thing I know down there is IKEA, dude. So.
That's funny.
So what's your spot in Tampa?
Ooh, that's good. That's a good question.
You can tell us later if you haven't explored.
I would say I've explored a couple. There is I forgot what it's called, but it's right next to the stadium, and it's a high end steak food place.
Okay.
And then there's this Italian place that I like. It's called Monacci's, I think, in Tampa, and it's phenomenal too. Like pasta food.
Mm.
I'm a big pasta guy.
You do much seafood out there?
I do sushi. Sushi's fire.
Yeah,
I'm experimenting with salmon. Salmon's pretty good. Mahi mahi. I've tried mahi
Yeah.
mahi.
Yeah.
I like deep sea fishing. Deep sea fishing's like one of my things. That's like my little getaway from
Nice.
baseball.
Next time I can't remember where I was in Tampa where I had rockfish.
Rockfish. Where's that
Oh
at?
man, dude. Just next time you go to any seafood in Tampa,
Yeah,
just be like, "Hey, you guys have rockfish?"
Okay.
And if they tell
it's a
you, yeah,
species.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Fish.
and if they tell you we got rockfish, tell them, bring it.
Look it up. Okay.
Oh
What
man,
about,
it's so good.
Dude, eel. Huh?
What about
Can't go wrong with
conch?
eel.
Like cracked conch.
What's that?
It's like a shellfish. It's in like these
The big shells?
big shells.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they like break it open. And
Spiky? Are
kinda
they
like,
spiky?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried that.
Oh man, that's my jam.
Really?
Oh, whenever I go to Florida, like everywhere has either conch fritters or cracked conch. On
That's
that.
cool.
Or conch
I've tried them.
ceviche.
Yeah,
Like,
it's all
I love
over
it.
in Tampa.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
All over.
Yeah.
I like it. I want to go deep sea fishing in Tampa. So I would travel with my mom or dad or somebody for baseball. And one of these trips, I went out to Florida exactly for a tournament, and I was at least 16. I was like 15, and I was with one of my buddy's moms that was a player on the team, and I was carpooling with them. And the mom was like, "Hey, we gotta wait for another player at the airport." And I was like, "Dude, we've been waiting for like an hour. What are we doing?" I was mad. I was like, "This guy better be good. Like we better win this tournament with this kid." And I look over and it's my mom. She surprised me from the trip.
Oh wow.
And she came down, and we went deep sea fishing for the first time when I was 15, I think. And I caught a 5-foot hammerhead. And,
Oh,
and
nice.
it took me like an hour and 30 minutes to reel it in.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I was tiny. I was so small, and it took off. Like I was reeling I was getting help by the fishing guide. I was like, "Dude, you gotta help me." And my mom wouldn't help me. She was recording.
You're doing this yourself.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Dude, so I've got a kind of a interesting scenario for you. I know the Yankees just got Doogie.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mexico also has Doogie in right field. What if we slide Doogie for the Yankees and Mexico over to center, and you take over right field for the Yankees and Mexico, dude? How would that go?
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet. I mean, I don't. He's a big leaguer. He's been in the game for a minute. I kind of want to pick his brain. He seems like he's a lefty. Seems like he's known the game. He's been in it for a little bit. Hopefully, I can pick his brain at spring training and see if I can get any issues. That'd be kind of cool. Hopefully.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, imagine a Mexican national team with Rosarena in left, Doogie in center, and this guy in right.
That'd be sweet.
Woo!
That'd be sweet.
Heck yeah, man. I was thinking of that. I was like, man, Yankees just got Doogie. You had another. Because, as you know, Yankees, dude, we love left-handed hitters.
Yeah.
We love it,
Guys.
especially with that, 317,
Yeah,
312 down the line.
Something like that.
We love the lefties, dude. And when they got Doogie, I was like, that's a good pickup.
It's a good pickup. He's good. But the thing is, like, I just want to pick his brain and see how he got there,
Yeah.
and why he's there,
Yeah.
and hopefully I can be that guy like him. But I think the Yankees are gonna be excited what they got with me. I'm up in weight. I'm hitting the ball a lot harder this year. I'm a little more mature. I got a little more stripes on my belt. I think I'm ready this year. So we'll see. This is only my second spring training because I know a couple guys that have been in spring trainings for forever. Like they've been like, this is like my 7th, 8th spring training. I'm like, damn, it's my first. You know.
Jeez. Yeah.
So it's different. I'm excited. I'm excited for this year. This year's different.
Yeah, I was talking to your uncle. He's telling me that the whole family's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, they're coming down this year.
Nice.
They're coming down.
Uncle Ray, shout out Uncle Ray.
Yep, he's the one that set this up. Yep.
Yeah. Reached out to him. He's been a good friend. So
yeah, he's gonna be down there.
Yeah. Yep.
So that'd be good. Yeah, the whole family's coming down. I think February 25th on my mom's birthday, they're gonna come down. So should be fun. I'm excited.
Well, you tell us your debut in the majors because I know it's coming.
Hopefully.
I hope let us know because we will all be there.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, that'd be really cool. Yeah. So
I know it in the future, dude.
Yeah.
I know you'll get there.
One team somewhere. Just give me one chance.
For sure.
That's it. But
heck yeah. Brad, you got any questions?
Oh man, well I got a 11-year-old.
Okay.
He plays baseball and he goes for Frontier too.
Oh, okay.
Any good advice you got for him?
Frontier Academy. Have your does he still go to the middle school? Is he at the middle school or the high school?
Grader.
6th grader, so he's at the high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have your boy go up to Mr. Post and have one of my baseball cards in his office. But I think he's in a great spot. Frontier is a great spot. I think Frontier set me up for college really well. I think they teach it well there. They do have Fridays off, of course, but I think they do their work in school, and I just say stick with it. Like anything could happen. I came from Greeley, Colorado, you know, and I still think this is that I brought this up. So I was in kindergarten. I remember this clear as yesterday. I was in kindergarten, and same PE teacher that's at Frontier Elementary School is still there to this day. And I'm gonna go shake his hand once I'm a big leaguer. But he was asking every single kid stand up and say what they wanted to be as they grow up. And he finally got to me, and I was like, I want to be a big leaguer one day. And everyone laughed at me. And I got really red. And he was like, Tayler, you know that's like a 1 in a million chance. And I sat down, like in my head, I was like, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong.
Baby.
Does a kindergartner know what 1 in a million means?
No, I was like 1 in 1. That's me, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But I was sitting there. I was like, I remember that to this day.
Yeah.
And anything's possible that you put your mind to. As long as you put everything that you believe and everything that you want into that to achieve and to succeed in that, anything's possible.
And you got to work hard at it. It doesn't just come.
Yeah,
Right.
That's true. My dad tells me this to this day. Like he got me a little flip machine in my garage, and he got me when I was like 10, 11 years old. I still have it to this day, and I still hit with it sometimes. And I would be out there. Like I would come home like summer, and he would come home from work, and I would be in there for like 3 hours, just hitting by myself. And he'd be like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I gotta do it. No one else is gonna do it. I gotta do it, you know? And he's telling me this to this day. I'm like, dude, I just like doing it. Like it's just something that I'm good at, and I just like to do it. And he's like, dude, you work so hard. You're the hardest work I've ever met. And I think that's pretty cool. Like I probably taken off like 10 days this whole off season.
Wow.
And I counted on both my hands. Like I worked out on Christmas. I worked out on Thanksgiving. I hit and lifted on both days. Like Christmas Eve worked out. Doesn't matter to me. Like I got to get to where I want to. You know. I'm gonna say this too, but this might sound weird, or this might sound like I'm cocky or some way, but this is how I feel. I had a great year. I had the best year in college of my life. Got moved up to the next level. now I'm here, but I feel like I'm not content with what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm not there yet. And my dad's like, he tells me all the time, he's like, you're a professional athlete. I'm like, dude, he's like, you're a big leaguer. He tells me that. I'm like, dude, I'm not, no, not yet. Not yet. I'm not a big leaguer until I sign a big contract and I'm set in stone. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that.
Well, Pete Rose always said never be content.
Yeah.
And he drove, he's a grinder too.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be content. Like, keep grinding, bud.
Yeah.
That's what
felt
drives you, right?
Yeah. Like I've never felt like that. I've never had that situation come up in my life. Like I've wanted everything that I've ever wanted. Like I have it in front of me. Why am I not happy? You know? And I'm sitting there in bed. I'm like, dude, why aren't you happy with yourself? Like, you've done all these great accomplishments, and people would kill to do that, you know? And I'm just sitting there like, God, am I an asshole for thinking that? But yet again, like, I'm just not happy with where I am because I'm not happy with what I've done yet, you know? Or I'm not comfortable in my own skin because I'm not where I want to be yet.
Just like any successful individual out there, they would probably tell you you're probably not content because you haven't reached that goal that you set for yourself, right?
Right.
So that goal, whatever that goal is, I mean, that's to be a right, left, center fielder in the majors. If you haven't gotten there, heck yeah, I would totally advise you to not be content and keep pushing until you get to that.
Yeah. You gotta have a fire.
Yeah, you have to, because motivation. I mean, where does that come from, right? You said your parents, you said other things, but that motivation right there, where you said like, I'm not content where I'm at, and people are saying like, well, you're already a big leaguer. Heck no, man, I gotta be in center field at Wrigley Field or at Coors Field or at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Once I get there, then I'll let off the gas a little bit.
Yeah. I think I'm not, honestly, bro. I don't see myself stopping until I get a World Series ring. Like,
there you go.
Like I've had success in high school. I've had success in the next level. I want to have success in the biggest stage and the biggest team, you know? Like I just want to, if I win a World Series, I think that's when I'll be like, okay. I could just
Now you're a
take
big
a step
leaguer.
back. Yeah. I could take a step back and be like, okay, I think I've done a little something.
I'll put it in cruise control now, right?
Just a little bit, but
Heck yeah, man.
Just keep grinding, dude, because how old are you?
23.
See, you're in that perfect age, dude. Like you got quite a few years left ahead of you still, but it does go quick, so just keep grinding. Yeah, don't slow down, because now is the time.
Yeah. So I've been chatting with a couple guys that have been in AAA, AA for the Yankees, and they're like, hey, you look great. Stay on board, keep going. And they see me like get frustrated or like upset with myself, and they're like, dude, I did that too. Like, you're not where you want to be. You want to be where I am. You want to be where Judge is. Like, and I feel like I'm being selfish, but you know, like I just wanted to be, for me to be happy for right now. It might change in a couple years or so, but right now, for me to be like comfortable, like I gotta have a big contract. I want to take care of my family. I want to make sure that there's nothing to worry about there. Then I want to be remembered as like one of the hardest working baseball players out there. Also, he doesn't lose. That's what I want to be known for. Like, this kid doesn't lose.
Yeah.
And I think that like those three right now are like my main objective. Like, take care of family, get to where I want to be, and get to where I want to be and be respected. I think those are the top three.
Dude, we got to get a motivational speaker here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we
got to
probably
put you in front of the school districts, dude, and have you talk to these kids nowadays, man. I'm dead serious.
I think we should probably add a little bit of room at the breakfast this Saturday and
have
have Tayler maybe help us out a little bit with the section.
If you want.
Hey, I think we should,
if
man.
we can squeeze it
See
in.
what we can do.
I think we
Yeah.
can.
Five minutes, couple minutes.
Yeah.
I think we can, man.
With that.
We probably have 5 minutes.
Yeah. You know, you can get up there and
Chat.
be like, We just did a podcast with Tayler. He's got some words. Heck yeah, man! I think we should get him up there somehow.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
I'd love to.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, if anything, too, next year. So
next year
for sure. I mean, it depends where you're at, dude. We'll see.
Next year, if I accomplish everything that I do this year, next year's gonna be a movie.
Yeah,
Nice.
Heck yeah, man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Dude, it's been so great having you on here, man.
Yeah, it's been a great one.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna ask you to come back
course.
again.
Of course.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate
And
that.
you let us know, man. That big league call up comes in. You know,
We'll let it. Yeah, we'll be following you
Let
on,
us know,
on
man.
Instagram, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
who's your dad,
For
dude?
sure. Ricky Aguilar. Ray Aguilar's older brother and Robbie Aguilar's older brother.
Okay, so I know Robbie, and I
Yeah.
think I know Ray.
So, and we got guys on the committee. The Mark Welsh coached your dad and
Okay.
your uncles, and then I think he said his dad, right?
Yeah.
He said, I'm pretty sure he said your dad, but then Nate played with your uncle Ray, and he's telling us a story that he got hit in the eye because Ray threw the ball so hard. I hope Nate doesn't mind me saying. So he said that, yeah, it was like I think they were like 11 years old or 12 years old, and Ray
Hit him.
threw the ball hard, and I don't know, maybe Nate didn't see it well and hit him in the eye. Nate's gonna be on the next one here, so
Yeah.
But this is the second episode of
Episode, man.
of Sharpen the
Sweet.
Diamond. So we're calling it Sharpen the
Yeah.
Diamond, and first episode had Greg Riddock,
Yeah.
legendary coach, Greg Riddock,
Yeah.
Greeley guy. too,
Yeah,
so-
I hit with him. So growing up.
oh,
with
there you
him.
go. Tell us.
So I grew up with him. I played with his what is it? His knee or his what is it? I think his son's brother or his son's son. I think.
Okay.
And his name is Avery Riddock, and I grew up with him. And then
Okay.
Avery told his grandpa about me, and then Riddock reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to hit with me and stuff like that?" And I haven't seen him in forever, but I mean,
Yeah.
I saw him in high school.
You'll probably see him Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh,
he'll be there
sweet.
Saturday.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen him since forever.
yeah,
And
and he still works with kids.
And
And
he's still doing it out of his garage over here.
really,
and-
Yeah.
Yep.
sweet.
Yeah,
So he's still doing it.
Still grinding, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
It's awesome, man.
And actually, I think the first episode of Friends of Baseball, Sharpen the Diamond, just came out about 2 hours ago.
Nice.
So check that out. This one will be on the air soon. We'll send it to you.
Sweet.
You'll be on our
Thank you.
YouTube channel.
I think we're gonna put it on our website too. So
Yeah, we'll
there's
put it on the
one there,
website.
so
Sweet.
Facebook,
Yeah.
try to
all
get
the
it on
friends of-
Facebook.
all the Friends of Baseball's presence.
This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Noco friendsofbaseball.com.
Yeah, Knuckle Friends. Look us up. We're at 2 hours, guys.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was
Feels
great.
like 5 minutes.
It feels like
Yeah.
5 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor, you did a great job, man.
Yeah.
I was
made
gonna
us
say
look good.
thank you guys, Friends of Family, for Friends of Baseball for having me and
Absolutely.
having me do this and getting my name out there a little more and sharing my story with people. Thank you
Dude,
guys.
for real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is pretty new. We did the first one a week ago today, and we're just spitballing it as we go. But we want to be able to showcase baseball in northern Colorado, and I mean, what better example?
The timing was good.
than, Riddock and
with you.
yourself, Greeley natives.
Yeah.
It's exciting. There's a lot of people back here that are pulling for you, and I think it's great to catch up and hear what's going on with you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for being
having
on,
me.
dude.
Yeah,
Thank you for being
having
on.
me.
Yep.
This is great.
Cool.
All right, was that
All right,
a wrap?
guys. We'll see you soon.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.